Hey people, I got another great German export for you. The game is called Schocken. It's a pretty easy drinking game, and all you need is just 3 dices and something like that optionally, so that the dices won't roll out and stay inside the cage. So yeah, let's start. Okay, firstly, the player who starts can decide how often he or she wants to roll the dice, but the maximum is 3 times. The following players are allowed to roll the dice, but just as often as the first player. They can do less. It depends how good your result is. After everyone rolled the dice, the player with the lowest ranking takes the number of cards from the result of the player with the best result. For example, on the right side, you see the ranking. What's the best? That's called shock out. And what's the worst? That's just numbers. For example, 665 is the best number, or 221 is the worst. And between that, there's a shock with a number, so 1 and a number. For example, shock 5. That's 115. Jenny is 3 times the same number, for example 333, 444, and so on. And then there's also a street, it's called street, just with 432, as you can see, or 456, for example, something like that. The amount of cards or beer caps is decided here. So when someone got a shock out, or when the best result is a shock out, the game is over. So the player with the worst result get all the cards, and the player with the other players just are done with the game. After a shock number, for example shock 5, the player with the lowest result gets 5 cards or 5 beer caps. You can play it with beer caps or anything, just you need something you can get 13 times of. So Jenny, when the highest result is Jenny, the lowest player gets 3 cards or beer caps, and the goal of the game is that just one player has all the beer caps. There's a total of 13 beer caps, as I said, and every beer cap is distributed to the player. There's a total of 13 beer caps, and after every beer cap is distributed to the players, or each time to the player with the worst result, just the players, just the ones with beer caps, keeps on playing until just one player has every beer cap. So for example, when there are 3 people left with beer caps or cards, whatever, the player with the highest result gives his or her cards to the player with the lowest results. So on until just one player is left with all the beer caps. And then after that is done, the player with all the beer caps has lost the game and has to pay 1 drink for every person who played. There's also a longer version of the game. You can play it with like 2 games, except of 1. And then after the 2 games are done, the player who lost the first game plays against the person who lost the second game. Just the same way as it's here. So it's a 1v1 with all the beer caps. First you have to distribute the cards between the 2 players, and then it's just 1v1. So the player 1 gives his cards, or the amount of cards of which the highest score was to the player with a lower result, and then the amount of cards what he or she got. And yeah, that's a longer version. You can place also like that, but that depends on you. And yeah, what's important to notice is that if you got 2 times a 6, you can turn one dice around to a 1. So for example, when you got it in your first throw, it's maybe pretty sorry guys, I forgot the word. It's pretty intelligent. So yeah, of course the best is like a shock, and if you got at the start a 1, that's all right. If you got 3 times a 6, you can say I just keep it like that, and I got a Jenny, so it's 3 beer caps. But you can also turn it around to 2 times a 1, and then you automatically get a shock. And if you got, for example, a shock 4, that's better than Jenny, so you can give away 4 beer caps. And yeah, what's also important to notice is that when you got a 1, you can keep out the 1. For example, you throw something like that, you can keep out the 1 and play just with 2 dices. So for example, like now you got a shock 2, that's all right, and in the third time you can throw it like that. Now you got a shock 3. But for the other things, for the Jenny and for the street, you have to throw it out of your hand. For example, when you got it like that, and then you think, I'm just gonna keep it out like that and hope that I have a 4. It's not work like that. So you have to throw a 4, or you have to throw a street or a Jenny straight out of your hand. So yeah, imagine you throw it like that, and then it works. Then it's a street, but not if you stay out the 4 and the 3, and then you throw in the next round a 2. So it's not working like that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the game, have a lot of fun, and drink a lot of beers. And yeah, bye bye.